Greetings, friends. Today, though this lecture is for anyone who wants to understand the demand and recovery process under CGST Act, however, I have prepared this video specifically for CS Professional Program student for their paper Advanced Tax Laws based on the study material provided by the institute. However, once again I reiterate that this video will be useful for anyone who wants to understand the demand and recovery process under CGST Act. As you all know that the liability for payment of goods and service tax rests on the taxpayer. That is, it is the taxpayer that has to pay the tax based on self-assessment system of tax determination, and once that payment has been made, government assume that the taxpayer has made and ascertained his or her tax liability in accordance with the law, CGST, SGST, IGST law, and based on the return filed by the individual. If at a later stage the authorities or the proper officer finds that there is some mistake unknowingly or knowingly committed by the taxpayer, then there is a system of demand and recovery which is given in chapter 15 of CGST Act. This section are applicable for demand and recovery under IGST Act and also under other provision of rules given in CGST Act. The section that deals with demand and recovery are given in section 73 to section 84, and corresponding rules are given in chapter 18 from rules 142 to 161 case. Now coming to the advanced tax law, which earlier was known as which earlier was the advanced tax practices law and practices. So the question paper wherein the relevant question were asked related to demand and recovery, I find that in December 18 attempt there is a question which deals with the implication of section 74. Here there was ineligible credit taken by the party, and then we were required to calculate the interest, applicable interest. Then in question paper of June 19 we have a case given wherein the implication of section 73, the procedure was to be given as an answer to that question. Here we were required to see the correctness of so-called notice given to Green and Green Private Limited. Again we were required to give answer in accordance with the provision contained in section 73 of CGST Act. In December 19 exam there was a question related to the liability on account of interest and penalty as applicable under section 74 of CGST Act. These questions were for 4 to 5 marks, and being an important provision of the Act, if we understand section 73 and 74, then we would be able to answer any question asked with reference to demand and recovery. So I'll keep this video lecture short and will cover only section 73 and 74. More so, the coverage of section 73 and 74 is being done because both are almost same, having similar provision, barring few changes which has been incorporated under Act. So to start with, these sections deals with determination of tax not paid or short paid or erroneously refunded or input tax credit wrongly availed or utilized. Now first, if we talk about section 73, when it appears to the proper officer that something of the sort that tax not paid, short paid or erroneously refunded or ITC wrongly availed or utilized, wherein reason is other than fraud or any willful misstatement or suppression of facts to evade tax liability, then section 73 will be applicable. Whereas if the taxpayer has not paid the tax or short paid the tax or wrongly availed ITC by reason of fraud or any willful misstatement or suppression of fact to evade tax payment liability, then section 74 will be applicable. So when proper officer, in his opinion, it appears that some short payment, no payment, erroneous refund claim or ITC wrongly availed and utilized, then he is required to issue notice under both the sections, section 73 and section 74. Now this notice is to be given requiring the person chargeable with tax, requiring him to show cause why he should not pay the amount specified in the notice along with interest payable thereon under section 50 and a penalty leviable under the provision of this act or the rules made thereunder. These so cause notice is to be required to be given 3 months prior to the time limit, and time limit is given in under subsection 10. So 3 months is for section 73 and 6 month time period prior to which notice is required to be given is for section 74. The overall time limit for proper officer to pass an order under section 73 or 74 is 3 or 5 years respectively. This time period starts from the date due for furnishing the annual return for a financial year to which the tax not paid, short paid or ITC wrongly availed or utilized, or within 3 years from the date of erroneous refund. Under section 73, penalty is to be levied in accordance with act or rules, whereas section 74 subsection 1 stipulates that the penalty shall be equivalent to the tax specified in the notice issued under subsection 1 of section 74. So this is the manner with which notices are issued to the person if proper officer finds that something fishy has been done by the taxpayer. Under subsection 3, where a notice has been issued under subsection 1, an additional power has been given to proper officer to serve a statement which may be for a period other than those as specified in subsection 1. This statement would contain the details of tax not paid or short paid or erroneously refunded or ITC wrongly availed or utilized. And then subsection 4 of section 73 and 74 stipulates that the service of statement made under subsection 3 will be deemed to be notice under subsection 1 of section 73. This is for section 73 as well as section 74. That means subsection 4 of 74 also stipulates that if a statement is issued under subsection 3 of section 74, it shall be deemed to be service of notice under subsection 1 of section 73. So 74 subsection 4 also refers to this subsection 1 of 73, and section 73 obviously refers to the subsection 1 of 73. Now when we see the manner with which the tax payment could be done by the person chargeable with the tax, he has an opportunity, that is, before issue of notice under subsection 1 or subsection 3, if a statement is issued, before that issue he can pay the amount of tax along with the interest payable thereon in accordance with subsection 50 on the basis of own ascertainment of such tax liability, or if he can ascertain the tax as ascertained by the proper officer, then he should pay the liability in accordance with that ascertainment and intimate about such payment in writing to the proper officer. In case of 74, if he is making payment on his own accord or as per the assessment of proper officer, in addition to tax and interest under subsection 50, he is required to pay penalty equivalent to 15% of the tax amount. Subsection 6 basically offer that on receipt of information under subsection 5, the proper officer shall not proceed with the proceeding under subsection 1 or subsection 3 in respect of tax so paid or any penalty payable under the provision of the act or rules made thereunder. However, subsection 7 of 73 and 74 both provide the proper officer power to see if there is any shortfall on the amount actually payable and what has been paid by the by the person chargeable with tax on his own accord or on ascertainment. If some amount is left unpaid, remain balance, or fall short of the amount which actually was required to be paid, then proper officer can continue with the proceeding under subsection 1 of section 73 and section 74 respectively. This takes to the next stage, where under subsection 8, suppose the taxpayer doesn't pay tax on his own accord before issue of notice under subsection 1 or subsection 3 and notice has been issued. So if person chargeable with tax under subsection 1 or subsection 3 pays the said tax along with interest under section 50 within 30 days of issue of so called notice, then for 73 there will be no penalty at all. But when it is a case of section 74, then penalty increases to 25% of the tax payable. And here section 132, the proceeding if undertaken under subsection 132, then as the section 73 and 74 stipulate that on payment of tax, interest and penalty, all proceedings shall be deemed to be concluded will not include the proceeding under subsection 132. Subsection 9 of section 73 and 74 provides that proper officer shall, after considering the representation, if any, made by the person chargeable with tax, will determine the amount, interest and penalty. Now, penalty under section 73 will be 10% of the tax amount or 10,000 rupees, whichever is higher, whereas penalty under subsection 9 of section 74 will be in accordance with the calculation of section 74. This order under section 9 is to be issued within 3 years from the due date of filing of return, annual return, and 5 years in case of section 74. Section 11, subsection 11 of section 73 provides that notwithstanding anything contained under subsection 6 or subsection 8, then penalty under subsection 9 shall be payable where any amount of self-assessment tax or any amount collected as tax has not been paid within a period of 30 days from due date of such payment. Subsection 11 of section 74, there is a distinguishable provision which says that if any person is served with an order under subsection 9, pays the tax along with interest payable thereon under section 50 and a penalty equivalent to 50% of such tax which is ascertained within a 30 days of communication of the order, all proceeding in respect of said notice shall be deemed to be concluded. Now, determination of tax, if we try to understand then and analyze, it is basically for tax not paid, tax short paid, tax erroneously refunded, or input tax credit wrongly availed and utilized. Along with this, if there is recovery of interest payable which is not paid or partly paid, or interest erroneously refunded, then also these provision will be attracted. Rules 42 deals with the forms which are applicable and in which the notices are to be issued. Then notice and the demand under section 52, that is collection of tax at source, 73 74 which we just learned. Section 122, there are provision relating to penalty of certain offences under CGST Act. Section 123 which deals with penalty for failure of furnishing information. All these notices are to be issued electronically in form GST DRC 01. In form GST DRC 2, statement under subsection 3 of 73 and 74 is to be issued, specifying therein the details of the amount. When we compare the provision of section 73 and 74, we find that there is a difference with respect to applicability, that is 74 is applicable where there is a fraud and willful misstatement or suppression of fact. In its absence, section 73 will be attracted. There is a time limit difference, 3 months and 6 months in these two sections. Total time allowed for passing an order under subsection 9 in both the cases are 3 years and 5 years respectively. Then penalty, if paid before so cause notice, then no penalty under section 73, whereas it is 15% of the tax amount equivalent to the tax amount under section 74. In case penalty is to be calculated after issue of so cause notice and payment is made within 30 days. Then again under section 73 there is no penalty, however 25% equivalent to the tax amount is penalty in case of section 74. Now if order is passed and the person chargeable with tax pays tax along with interest and penalty, then penalty will be calculated under section 73, which will be 10% of the amount of tax or rupees 10,000, whichever is higher, whereas it is 50% for section 74. In all other cases, the penalty for 73 will be 10,000 or 10%, whichever is higher, and it will be 100% of the tax amount, equivalent to tax amount under section 74. So these are the provision. Here we can have a illustration of time limit calculation under section 73 and 74. If due date of AR is 31st December 2018, then we need to add time period under subsection 10, 3 years for 73 and 5 years for section 74, and the time period for passing of order will be 31st December 21 for 73 and 23 for section 74. We are required to reduce the notice period, which will be 3 months for 73 and 6 months for 74. So time period for notice under subsection 1 will be for 73 30th September 2021, means prior to this date notices should be served to the person chargeable with tax, and in 74 it will be 30th June 23. So with this I finish this video with the hope that anyone who wants to understand demand and recovery would have a good idea and a clear idea about the procedure which is to be followed by the proper officer in case of demanding and getting the recovery under 73 and 74. Enjoy learning and bye. I will be covering the next sections in the next video. Bye friends. Once again, enjoy learning. I believe if you go through this video and this will be good help for your learning with respect to demand and recovery lesson 5 of professional program advanced tax laws. Thank you.